example of my ability to do 2 takes. Here we go.
There we go. We're rolling.
From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China, back to the streets of St. Louis, Missouri, where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is the first show of 2018. It's Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but maybe you're afraid to voice. Do not worry. We will voice it for you. We talk about everything on It's Time. News, current events, President Trump, film, TV, UFC, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Is No Holds Barred Radio. We're here to start off the new year with my co-host, TJ DeSantis, and our very special guest, TMZ's host, none other than Michael Babcock. Hi, Michael. How are you?
What's up, Bruce? How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend. It's great to have you on the show.
Great to be back.
Thank you. Thank you. First things first. Your trademark, mine's It's Time. Michael's Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Michael Babcock, we've got some hair going on here. Is there a new do for 2018? What can we expect on TMZ?
I didn't know this was my trademark. Yeah, I'm going to rock with this. I'm going to keep going with it, Bruce. I like it. I'm getting a little haircut tonight, so wish we could have done this tomorrow when I would have had a fresh cut. Yeah, I'm going to rock with this.
I think he's doing it, Mike, just to rub it in my face that I don't have hair. Like, this is not kicking off the new year on a good foot, Buff. Come on.
That's not nice, Bruce. Don't do that to TJ.
I like to pick on TJ a little bit, but actually I didn't mean that. But now that we've referenced it, yeah, TJ, you're bald. I just realized that. Okay, we got it.
Yeah, well, I mean, my charisma, makes up for my shortcomings physically, so we're good.
There you go. I'm not even going to touch that one, but I got you. It's all good. So, Michael, your brand is actually the way you look. It's not just a trademark. You know, you've got a great look. You keep it rolling. That's called part of the brand. Just like me with a tuxedo. You've got the hair and much more.
You were looking sharp at 19, as always.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I watch for the fights, Bruce, and also to see your suit.
Thank you.
I do.
I got some new ones being made for 2018. I'll rock some of the old ones, but it's all good. And while we're at it, my tailors, everybody wants to know, I've said it before, it's King and Bay. Go to mykingandbay.com. Go to Instagram at mykingandbay. They're out of Toronto. They will make your suits. You send them your measurements. They'll have them to you. They're unbelievable. Just tell them Buff sent you. That's
two
all.
Questions for you. Do you rewear the suits, or is just one time and that's it?
No, what I do is that in my special closet I have for all my gear, I take the suit, the one I wore, and I put it to the back, and it works its way to the front. Now, if there's a time like the one I wore in December, I would never wear that suit in the summer. Right. That's a winter holiday suit, shall we say. Sure. So I can go back in between, pick out one specifically. But, it's kind of like maybe it's the female in me. I don't like to wear the same thing twice, 2 times in a row, but I'll wear it maybe a couple months or 3 months later. It's called rotation, my man. It's all rotation.
How many do you have right now?
Right now, I don't know the exact count, but I say that there's probably got to be 30 to 40 tuxedos in that closet.
Wow.
I know. It's a lot. eBay soon.
You can make a lot of money. You can retire.
If I have a bad poker night, eBay soon. It's all there. All right, let's get into a little bit of stuff here. First off, Happy New Year to our listeners from all over the world. Had a great time on the new year. Michael, I spent the new year at Hakkasan doing the countdown with Steve Aoki and everybody for all the, I don't know how many people they have in there, 2,000, 3,000 loaded. It was quite an experience. The video was out on the web, and all I can say is when you see me up on that little stand about 2 feet wide, 30 feet above, screaming fans, I got up there. I'd never been up there before. I got to tell you, I got a little shaky in the legs. Yeah, not nervous. The legs got a little I should have done this a couple times. Well, I realized at that point I can't do any moves like I normally do. Everything was from the waist up. The legs were solid, but it was quite an experience. How was your New Year's?
You had a much better New Year than me. I was really jealous, actually, looking at your Instagram. I flew back from New York to L.A., and I was so tired for some reason. I could barely stay up until midnight. Honestly, I was struggling, and I fell asleep. I was sleeping at 12:02. That's how dull my New Year's was this year. So I was living vicariously through you because I watched your videos. I saw you at Hakkasan, and I was wishing I was you in that moment.
You know what? All you had to do was call me. I would have had you all set up, my man. But
hey,
you know what? You did
2019. I'm going to take you up on that.
2019, we're in Vegas. You got there. You get out of town. You call me. It's time to party.
Hey,
should I say it again? It's time to party. Okay.
I'm there.
You got it. Michael, actually, I think you did a better job in a way because I love waking up healthy, no hangover, ready to rock. I end the year strong, to start the year strong. I hate in the past when I partied a little too hard. It's like, oh my God, is this the first day of the year?
Oh, you instantly read it. You start the year off wrong. And I worked before I did any of this years and years ago, I managed clubs and restaurants. And like New Year's Eve is amateur night in a way, because a lot of the people who don't go out during the year, they go out and they party on New Year's Eve because it's the thing to do.
Right.
And I always like nights that weren't New Year's Eve better than New Year's Eve. So
with you all the way, my friend, all the way.
Unless you're on a 30-foot podium at Hakkasan, 3,000 people, then that's awesome.
Yep, exactly. Quite honestly, and I mean this with all respect to Hakkasan, Vegas, and everything else, Vegas is such a scene on New Year's Eve. If I wasn't doing something so cool as what I did, collecting a little coin for what I did, I would have loved to have come home and just spent it like you did at home. My loved ones breaking the new year, start off the year fresh. But I had a great time, so all good.
How great is that? You have people waiting in line for hours, and you're getting some little bit of change to go party. That ain't bad.
It's pretty cool. You know, the one thing about having a little niche celebrity and whatever, I really don't like that word celebrity. I've said this before on the show. I consider myself equal with everybody, but I will tell you one thing. If I don't have to stand in line, which I don't have to in Vegas, thank God, it is a great thing. It really is. For that, I'll take advantage of that any chance I get.
Right. That's the one part. That's the one aspect you can take advantage of. I don't blame you.
Exactly. So now, speaking of taking advantage of situations, there was a war in the octagon at UFC 219 on Saturday night. Holly Holm, incredible. Cyborg, incredible. 5-round war. Did you get a chance to see it?
I did.
Pretty amazing, huh?
I thought it was a great fight. I was really excited about it. Just an absolute war. Give both of the girls a ton of respect. We talked to both of them leading up to the fight. And yeah, what a fight. What a fun night.
Yeah, it was incredible. Who did you have winning?
I thought Cris won Cyborg won the fight.
I did. TJ.
So I didn't think it was as one-sided as some people may lead you to believe. I thought Holly held her own and got around her too even.
Exactly. Well, on the card, when I get on the first to know the decision, the judges, 2 of the 3 judges had Holly winning the first 2 rounds, which I did too. One judge had her losing the second, and then of course they gave the next 3 to Cyborg. Although TJ, you said you only had Holly winning which round?
The 4th round. I thought she won the 4th. There are 2 aspects to a fight in mixed martial arts. There's the fight itself, and then there's the game. And to me, Holly did some really great things to sort of make an argument that she was winning the game. And ultimately, if you win the game, you win the fight. But for me, Cris was more dominant, definitely through 3 rounds. I argue that she won rounds 1, 2, 3, and 5. But it comes down to what you value more. I think Holly did a lot to sort of make Cris fight a Holly Holm style of fight. But when you look at the analytics and the actual punch stats and the strikes that landed, Holly was soundly outlanded. It comes down to quality over quantity. I thought that Cris Cyborg really had more quality moments in the fight. And honestly, too, what is really interesting is Cris Cyborg fought a fight that is not what we've ever seen from her. She was forced to be technical. Yeah. She was a counter striker. Holly Holm is the technical goddess. She's supposed to be the one that out techniques Cris Cyborg. And the way Cyborg worked that left hook and countering, I mean, we've never seen that over the course of 10 plus years with Cris Cyborg. So Holly did her part. Fantastic fight, but Cris Cyborg 49-46.
Yeah, I wondered how Cyborg was going to react being pushed 25 minutes, somebody that she couldn't physically dominate, and she obviously responded well. It shows you how close it was, though. If the judges had Holly winning rounds 1 and 2, TJ round 4, it shows how competitive the fight was, how great the fight was.
Yeah, judges don't know what they're looking at, unfortunately.
Yeah, but remember, Dana White says never leave it in the hand of the judges, and that's one of the best statements, truest statements he's ever made.
Come on, Bruce. That's the worst statement ever. Hey,
I like that statement.
Yeah, just go out and finish the guy. Oh, you can't finish a world-class fighter? You should have. It's like the guy's training there with you? Like you're both training to fight each other? Don't let it go 15 minutes. Just finish him in the first round next time. Come on. You can't say that.
It's his way of saying, listen, you want to not to go to the judges where you never know what's going to happen. Finish the fight. I'm with it.
It's been done, but don't rest on your laurels if you're winning the fight and say, all right, I'll be careful and I'll win it in a decision.
That's like saying, hey, tightrope walker, don't fall into your net. Just don't fall. You'll be fine.
It's if the finish is there, take it, and don't just say I have this this is in hand. I'm just going to take the decision. Don't do that. Go get the win. That's what he's saying.
Does anybody do that? Does anybody like take mount and nearly like land enough punches to make the referee stop and go, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to get the decision. No,
I don't know.
Nobody does.
I wish I could cite an example right now, but
let me find the example for you, Michael, because I think I have it. The example would be that George St. Pierre will win 3 rounds of a 5-round fight, and then rounds 4 and 5, he just takes people down and sits in their guard. That's true, yes. But also George St. Pierre is a guy that got knocked out by Matt Serra in one of the biggest upsets in UFC history in round number 1. So, yeah, do people take their foot off the pedal at times? Sure. Should you be able to take your foot off the pedal when you've soundly defeated someone over the course of 3 to 4 rounds? Yeah. I mean, don't leave it in the hands of the judges is a cop-out for the judging sucks in mixed martial arts.
Wow, TJ has an opinion on this, I can tell. All right, well, let's get on to something else here. With Cyborg, what's next? Is it Amanda Nunes? Is it Megan Anderson that everybody's talking about? Or is it a rematch with Holly?
Did they announce Megan Anderson? Did they announce that?
I read something today, whether it was on your site or one of the MMA sites, that Cyborg said something about Megan Anderson next. I think probably they're going to, my guess is, and I have nothing about this. We talked about this on TMZ yesterday when you had me on the show. I think it's Amanda Nunes. I think they're going to hand a shot at Amanda Nunes. And TJ, knowing fighters as well as you do, I can comment too. But what do you think about it? Amanda Nunes is not as big as Holly. She's going to have to go up in weight. There's a definite physical differential there, but she can do 145.
Sure.
What's your take, TJ?
If Amanda wanted to fight Cyborg at 145, it's probably the most interesting fight that the UFC has next to Megan Anderson. And unfortunately for the Megan Anderson fight, not a lot of people know Megan. So if you're going to ask Cyborg to headline a pay-per-view against someone who's never fought in the UFC, we're talking about a pay-per-view that might not sell a bunch of pay-per-view buys. So I don't know what the buy rate for Amanda Nunes's main events are, but from a marketing standpoint, that makes probably the most sense. But it comes down to whether or not Nunes wants to move up. And I don't know. There's only a handful of women that have the courage to step in the cage with Cris Cyborg at 145. Megan Anderson is one of them. If Amanda Nunes wasn't, I wouldn't fault her. But she's got the heart of a lion. That's where her nickname comes from. So I wouldn't not watch it. I'll tell you that. I'll pay my money to see it.
Well, I'll say one thing. You say a lot of people don't know Megan Anderson. Obviously, I've never announced any of her fights because I called her Megan. So I'm one of those people. So Megan,
that was news to me. I'm like, who's Megan?
Yeah,
Megan,
exactly. Megan, sorry.
Well,
Megan.
With all respect to Megan Anderson, we'll say that. I want to see this. I want to see Amanda, if it happens, with Cyborg, and I want to see it in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I want to see a big show in Rio, big show in Brazil. I think we'll sell out hugely, and I think it'll be something everybody will watch, along with the other people on the card, of course. Speaking of other fighters, Michael, I was in rehab, still working on my knee and everything. I do this constantly to stay strong. And in there was my buddy Tyron Woodley, right? And he just got operated on recently. Yeah. He told me that, people are coming after him to maybe come back in the octagon in April. He would like to take until the summer to get back strong and be 100% warrior that he truly is. And I said, what else you doing in LA? And of course he says, I'm here for TMZ. You guys really got some gold getting Tyron on your show, because I think he does a great job, Michael.
He is the best. It's the Hollywood Beatdown with Tyron Woodley on the TMZ Sports YouTube channel. With my guy Evan, and they have a great show. Tyron is so good at this stuff. I've talked to you about this before. I'm personally a huge fan of his. I think he's a great fighter, just a super cool dude. But he is good. Like it's not only sports. They will talk about pop culture, and Tyron is always on top of everything. He does a great job hosting the show, and it's been really good. People have been enjoying it. He's a TMZ employee now. I see he was just in here. He's walking around our newsroom. It's like Tyron works at TMZ.
Hey, you're killing me over there, Mike. I used to do his podcast, but now he's doing this Hollywood Beatdown, and the Morning Wood Show with D's Nuts has been on indefinite hiatus. So come on, man, let this man do some other work. I got to get paid over here.
Well, I mean, we're only taking him, 20 minutes a week, but he's been in here a lot. It's really exciting because, like I said, I'm a huge fan. He's awesome though.
But let's be real. When he goes to the bank and he cashes that TJ DeSantis check and he cashes that TMZ check, no offense, TJ. I have a funny feeling there might be a little more in the bag on TMZ. If
I
you know
don't
what I'm
write him
saying.
a check. He writes me a check. It's about me getting paid, Buffer. Come on.
Now we know why the
on.
show's not happening.
Oh.
There's your diss, TJ. There's your problem. You got to come up with some green. Tyron obviously is getting paid the big bucks now. He's with TMZ.
I'm looking for investors. Mike, if you got some money over there, let's start a TMZ podcast. I'm your man.
I'll let you know if I find some money.
Thank you.
Yeah, he is the best.
All right, let's go on to some serious stuff. Now that we have not talked about anything that involves serious nature in the last few minutes. Okay, I always say this guy's name wrong, and I don't care if I get it wrong. But Kim Jong Un, the Korean leader,
the rock man, as President Trump calls him.
Who has we'll go further with that one. He has his hand on the nuclear button on his desk ready for use. He stated openly just last week. Donald Trump came back with a tweet. I have to say, I show respect to my president of the United States, but I got to tell you, I get very upset with my president of the United States. We talk about it on the show all the time.
It's a button measuring contest. Come on.
It's a pull, you know what? It's a pull, you know what out and see who's bigger contest is really what it comes down. This is childhood activity. I find this to be totally unwarranted. I'm going to read the tweet for those of our listeners internationally that have not heard it. This is the scariest tweet I have ever read from President Trump. As stated right now, it reads, North Korean leader Kim Jong Un just stated that the nuclear button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved regime please inform him that I too have a nuclear button, but it is much bigger and more powerful one than his, and my button works. Is this the way for a president to talk? I ask you both.
Do you need to ask that question? No, this isn't a question.
It's not. Michael, give us your answer. What's your TMZ, baby? Right about this.
Listen, I've gotten some crap for, sometimes I'm not a Trump supporter, but I haven't killed him in some situations. A lot of people felt like Barack Obama was too professorial. Trump's brash. That's what he does. And I think he's meeting fire with fire here with Kim Jong Un's tweet. And, man, sometimes you just, maybe need to give the North Korean leader a little dose of reality that, yes, our arsenal is a whole lot bigger. And if you want to go down that road, then we can go down that road. But at the same time, I do admit it is scary. And reading these tweets and seeing people talk about it, you start to become numb to the prospect of nuclear war. And that is scary.
What he's saying, though, is something you say like a week before Sweeps and The Apprentice is like down in the ratings. Like this is not what you say when you run a country. And I'm terrified because what do they say? Like you can't fix stupid. You can't ration with crazy. Both of these guys are exhibiting qualities that are both stupid and crazy. And I hope they're figuratively talking about a button on their desk because
maybe I'm being naive, but I never take him seriously, particularly when it comes to something like this. Like I have to believe that, wisdom would prevail here and he's not going to, shoot nukes at North Korea. I just feel like this is mine is bigger than yours, and that's what Donald Trump does.
I don't care if we have a smaller one as long as I don't die from radiation poisoning. Like that's fine. I'll be the tiny man.
Cool.
Well, you better hope that the Korean leader doesn't test that bomb over the ocean, which easily the fallout can reach us when it wasn't even an effective nuclear attack. There's a lot of things to be considered here. It's very scary. Obviously, none of us have absolutely any control over the situation whatsoever. Last question relating this. Michael, do you think it's healthy for President of the United States to tweet the way he does?
The contents of the messages or just the tweets? I have no problem with any politician talking directly to the people over Twitter. I think Twitter is great. I think it has really connected people, and whether it's celebrities or athletes or the president.
Right.
If Trump feels like the media is dishonest or he's not getting a fair shake from a portion of the media, then let him talk directly to the people. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know, why there's a group of people that feel like that's not presidential for him to tweet. Like that's beneath the office to tweet and talk to the people. I don't believe that. I feel like let him tweet. Let him talk to us.
I'm with you.
It's
what he says.
It's just
how it's said.
It's
what
not,
he said. That's a different different story.
Yeah, like, I mean, the thing is Twitter is still new, and we haven't really seen world leaders embrace Twitter like normal people embrace Twitter, where they just have a random thought while they're sitting on the toilet and they tweet it out. Donald Trump tweets like the average person. Sometimes it's a little too brash and it's a little insane, but I think we're all guilty of tweeting something that we didn't necessarily, run through the old brain before we, threw it out.
Like, say what you want about Donald Trump. He's old, but he has really used social media, in my opinion. Facebook with the ads, and talk to people, they'll say that's what won him the election. I think he's really used social media masterfully, with the exception of some crazy stuff that he does.
Hey, Mike, I mean,
I have to agree with you there.
You're in the celebrity world, Mike. You obviously deal with people all the time. You know more than anybody that it's not often that someone is in 100% control of their social media. A lot of people rely on teams. Do you think Donald Trump is the only one that is tweeting these crazy things, or do you think that it's, any number of people in his cabinet or team?
I mean, just a total guess. I would imagine the crazy stuff is coming from Donald Trump, and maybe the more rational, neutral stuff is probably coming from someone on his team.
Right.
But here's what bothers me, and we'll leave this subject alone after this. Trump makes a tweet or a verbal statement, and then the spokesperson for the White House has to take more opportunity cost of time from running this country out to have a press conference the next day to either say that's not what he meant or this is what he meant. I find this to be so ridiculous, because if you're in a position of power, much less a position of intelligence, as obviously he is an intelligent man, you should make a statement that's a solid statement and not have to come back and say that's not what I meant. Now whether that's the 140 or whatever it is character problem with Twitter or you name it, it just seems like such a waste of time for the man and the crew below him, his team running this country. I'm not even asking for a retort on that. That's just my opinion. Now let me go on to something else. You mentioned that some people were not in the offices at TMZ, okay?
Yeah.
Yesterday, marijuana became legal in California. All right?
Did.
So maybe were they lined up down at the store or whatever? Because I heard the lines were around the block. It's now legal. The biggest state for marijuana legalization in this country just now legalized it. You can now walk into your local weed store with your Green Cross, and I think you're allowed to grow, and tell me if I'm wrong if you know this, as a homeowner, you can grow up to 7 plants in your house. You can purchase a certain amount of marijuana, at the stores by showing your ID and walking out. Here's the thing. I'm all for this. We preach on the show, legalize marijuana, which is happening. Legalize prostitution. Not that I'm a player. I'm not. I'm just saying that it's something will be around forever. Take it out of the hands of the bad guys, out of illegal. Take the disease off the streets, test them, as they do in Germany and other countries very successfully, and legalize online, not gambling, which TJ disagrees with me with, legalize online poker. I don't want kids being able to bet on sports, and I know they have all those filters to not allow that. I say legalize online poker, and so much tax revenue will come into the federal and state governments that we need so badly, with all the deficits that are happening, with all these moves that are being made. Yeah. So now, very happy that marijuana was legalized. I'm very much a supporter of the medicinal side, the CBD side. There's a lot of values to this for a lot of people suffering from anxiety, Alzheimer's, all the things they found the THC content, the CBD content to be beneficial for. With that being said, I read something that really cracked me up. A lot of people in business are going to capitalize off the legalization of marijuana.
How's that?
The funniest thing I've seen is Jack in the Box has cooked up Munchie meals they've made. And they figure that this is one of the reasons, because recreational marijuana has become available. So now California's Rebel Coast Winery, those are going to start selling marijuana-infused wine. Wine's going to happen. And Jack in the Box is going to start selling Merry Munchie meals. They're full of greasy snacks specifically designed for people who are high on marijuana. And a recent study indicated that people who smoke weed prefer McDonald's over other fast food options. Hey, so Jack in the Box has decided to make a move to change all that. So they created the Munchie meals. They've teamed up with, of course, Snoop Dogg's pot-themed lifestyle website, Mary Jane. They're specifically trying to appeal to stoners. The meals include this. Now, tell me if this is what I'm not saying you have to say if you smoke. I'm just saying if you're coming home late at night, does this attract you? The meals include tacos, 5 mini churros, 3 crispy chicken strips, a side that's half curly fries and a half onion rings, and a beverage. And guess what the price is? You ready?
What is it?
$4.20.
Yep.
The $4.20.
Hey.
$4.20.
On behalf of fat kids everywhere, I understand that this is maybe placating and catering to the potheads, but this sounds like a great night of Madden on the Xbox as well. So this is gamer fuel.
Yeah, you don't need to smoke to enjoy that. That sounds great.
Right. I mean, half onion rings, half curly fries. That's a win.
That's my dream.
I mean, this solves world issues. Give this to Kim Jong Un and Donald Trump, and everybody's happy. You can put the nuclear buttons away.
No offense, but from what I've heard about Donald Trump's McDonald's, the way he eats McDonald's, I'm sure that maybe he will enjoy this. Maybe not because it's a Munchie meal, but because it's a meal he enjoys. Kim Jong, he looks like he hits Jack in the Box about every other hour. So.
Hey, let me ask you guys both this, because this is something that is overlooked a lot. Yes, it's legal in so many states now, whether it's medicinally or recreationally, but it's still federally illegal. The what is it? What is it? The DEA. That's what it is. The DEA can come in and shut down anybody at any given time. Are we ever going to see this legalized on the federal level? Because you're still going to see dispensaries and these stores get shut down from time to time. I want to see that go away. I want to see these people that are in this business be allowed to be real.
My attitude about that is that I'm sorry I stepped on you, TJ. My attitude about this is that it's going to continue to be state by state by state. There is such a powerful lobbying move by pharmaceutical companies and that had a trademark. And many years ago, I
think Skype got stoned. Wait for it. Try to get everybody back here. All right, let's try this again.
Conservatism in the government and the White House, and because of what's going on with the pharmaceutical companies. Wait, let me finish.
Let me finish because I lost you. Whoa. I was gone for like 90 seconds. So
sorry.
You need to start with marketing again. My Skype got stoned on me. Sorry.
Oh, go through all that again?
Yeah, start with marketing and pharmaceutical companies.
All right, I'll do it real briefly. In a nutshell, basically it was saying there's brilliant marketing going on here by Jack in the Box, in my opinion. I'm a marketer first and foremost, so I think it's a brilliant move in marketing on their part. That being said, that's number one. Your question was legalization countrywide. No, I think legalization will still continue to be on a state-by-state basis because of the fact of the conservatism that's in the White House, because of the fact of the lobbyists and the powerful power behind the pharmaceutical companies, which a lot of people can claim run this country to a certain extent. There's too much when it comes to the almighty dollar in here for this to be a nationwide yay, just like there should be a nationwide yay on the other two things I mentioned to be legalized. So it will continue until people figure it out. I don't think it's going to be that way for a while. That's just my personal opinion. There you go.
Well said.
Thank you. Now, who will ever work in this town again? Michael, you guys are daily. I go to TMZ and I see who got busted or being allegedly accused of the sexual harassment allegations, whether it's the case of Dustin Hoffman from 10, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, to the case of the current and the past with the Weinstein. In the last week, maybe due to Christmas holiday, there was only a couple of news stories that broke. One of the key things is that Rich Rodriguez has been fired, from Arizona amid sexual harassment allegations. That's one. That's wow. That's a big wow. And now the LA District Attorney is definitely considering charges against Harvey Weinstein and also against James Toback, the Hollywood writer, that could be serious cases for all that's coming up against them. We stated on the show in the past, I'm very for all this coming out. Women are meant to be respected and treated equally. I believe that if they do the same job, they should receive the same pay. I believe if they do the same anything, they should receive the same respect. But above all, we should respect them as we respect each other. And I'm happy that this is all coming out and people are, if you play, you pay, even with the little 20% or so less factor that maybe it's being taken a little too far in some of the allegations. But that's up to a personal opinion poll. But have I missed anybody in the last week that you guys reported? I think that's been about it. It just seems to be happening daily. It's hard to even keep track of it.
It's even it's penetrated the sports world now. You have accusations that have been leveled against Jerry Richardson, who owns the Carolina Panthers. I was actually wondering, was this going to kind of make its way over, seep into the sports world? And that's happened now, and I'm glad, honestly. Like, give the power to the people. You know, don't let these guys be protected anymore. And right. I'm glad that this finally happened. And it's upsetting to know that a lot of these things happened so many years ago, and they were never brought to light. But it's really a positive thing. I think that finally it's been brought to light, and people are going to pay.
Absolutely. On to another subject that was very disturbing that you covered on your site. My 9-year-old and about to be 10 and 13-year-olds are fans of Jake Paul.
Yes.
And his older brother, Logan Paul, who is much more successful in respect to the fact they're both hugely successful. It's amazing how much money these guys are making, and all the power to them for doing it, but you got to do it with class. You got to do it right. Logan Paul was posting a video. He was over there in the area of Japan, where it's known for where people go and commit suicide.
Right.
And he showed the man hanging out. He got 6 million views. He took it down. They're trying to ban him from YouTube. My boys even said that was horrible.
Yeah.
And they hated that. They love Jake Paul. They like Logan, but they love Jake much more. But 2 young boys thought, in the young boys' opinions, that was horrific. They hated seeing that.
Right.
You know, it's just horrible. Where do you stop freedom of speech, Michael? Is it just in the class factor of who you are and what you think is right? Or is everything just allowed to be shown and you just have to deal with it?
No, well, first of all, I think it was disgusting, and I feel terribly for, the family of that person who was in the forest there. I think it's such a fine line when you're trying to create content like these guys, do. There's so many people on YouTube, and, you keep trying to push, and he just went too far here. He's apologized numerous times now. I think he's genuine. I know that's not the popular opinion. When I watched him, I felt like he was genuine. He seemed, kind of in a state that I'd never seen him before. He seemed really serious and sincere. So, I'm willing to, say learn from this and don't ever do anything like this again. And maybe he can turn this into a positive and spread some awareness on the issue. But yeah, that was bad. These are guys, I mean, if I remember, I think we talked to Jake Paul. He said he wanted to be YouTube's first billionaire. So these guys have crazy lofty expectations and goals for themselves. This is not just some, little YouTube channel. These guys are really popular and powerful. And it was a huge misstep.
I thank you for your answer, because I will also go with him on the fact that live and learn, as disgusting as this was, and I was absolutely disgusted by it. Yeah. Now, turn this negative around, make it an awareness positive thing, because something I preach on the show all the time, we in position of our little niche celebrities or large niche celebrities, we have to be role models to the young people, both boys and girls of today. Our morality is going to hell in a handbasket as fast as possible in this country. We've got to stand tall. So if Logan Paul turns around and stands up, admits like he's did, and takes it to a positive note, then I'll be able to deal with that. Let him go on and make his money. Have no problem with that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we can keep kicking him, or he can use his 15 million, however many followers he has, and make this a positive thing. And that's what I choose if it was up to me.
And that's what I choose too. So we'll see how that one comes out. Another note here. This is a feel good yet horrific in its own right. I want to send my wishes and condolences to the family of Private Emmanuel Mensah. The man was involved in that horrific New York fire, which was considered one of the city's deadliest fires in more than 25 years. He went off to serve in the American National Guard, but he came back home and he paid the ultimate sacrifice. He was a soldier who went in there and saved people. He is a first-generation immigrant and soldier and New Yorker. He gave his life rescuing his neighbors in the Bronx fire. To me, this is true heroism. He's being recognized for that. Unfortunately, a child playing with a kitchen stove started the fire, which spread through the 29-unit building that killed at least 12 people, including 4 children. So this man is a hero, and I get tears in my eyes when I saw this, because he gave the ultimate the ultimate thing you can give. He gave his life to save other people, and happening at the end of the year. So I just want to say that. If you want to comment, fine, but I have to talk about that because we need to recognize heroism in this country, even though the man lost his life in the performance thereof.
Yeah, no, absolutely remarkable. I think you said that perfectly, and this is certainly a worthy thing to note.
Absolutely. Moving on, the winter storm is.
I think Mike's got to go. Mike, you got to get out of here, don't you?
Yeah, we're about to tape our.
Okay, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off with you, Mike.
Yeah.
2 minutes? Got 2 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it, Bruce. Yeah, we have 2 minutes.
Okay, real quick. Best wishes go out also to everybody in the East Coast. The winter bomb cyclone threatens the East Coast, bringing temperatures colder than Mars, they say. People be careful out there. Also, I watched a film last night. I'm getting my SAG films now, Mike. I, Tonya came in with Margot Robbie.
You enjoy it?
Wow. Enjoy it. Be offended by it, whatever, but it was a fine piece of filmmaking. I wasn't aware as much as I learned about Tonya Harding in this film. Definitely a piece of work. I watched it with my 9 and 12-year-olds, and about 20 minutes in, I turned to their mother and I said, I think this is rated R. But it had more F-bombs than 3 Scorsese movies put together. So, definitely a film watching. Jumanji's breaking all records at the box office. Outside of that, Michael, you're my friend. We work together occasionally. I wish you the greatest of New Year's. I'm proud of you. Keep that thing rolling. Keep that TMZ train rolling. All my best to you, Harvey, the team at TMZ. And thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Cut that hair, hippie.
Check out my Instagram tomorrow. I'm going tonight. Bruce, thank you so much as always. I always have a lot of fun doing this. Thank you, TJ. And everybody check out the TMZ Sports TV show every night on FS1.
And your Instagram. Instagram. Give us your stuff, your social media.
On what I don't even know what my Twitter is. How bad is that? How bad? I can't even give it, Bruce. I don't even know what it is.
Someone Google Mike Babcock Twitter.
Guys, I just changed it. Hit me on Twitter at Mike J Babcock. Mike J Babcock. I will never
got it
now. Guys.
Got it. You got it.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mike, you're one of the hardest working men in show business. You've been there for hours. You got hours to go. Go get him, man. Go get him.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
See you, man.
Happy New Year, Michael.
Bye.
Take care.
Mr. Babcock.
Mr. Babcock, great guy. Really cool guy. Hard worker. He texted me like 7 o'clock this morning.
No kidding.
He was already at the office, and he probably won't even leave that place till 7 o'clock tonight. The man's a workhorse.
Yeah.
So
no doubt about it.
Good. That's what it takes to make it, and not just show business, but in any business. You got to be dedicated. TJ, I just want to send my best wishes to you, the family, everybody. Let's have a great New Year. It's 2018. I love the new year because, in essence, whether you agree with it or not, January 1st, it is a fresh feeling. It is a fresh feeling of starting fresh, and I really enjoy it. I'm going to go jam away myself and get things rocking and rolling. Got a lot of UFCs, the new schedule. I'll be in St. Louis in 2 weeks. And when is the next EBI show?
February 17th, I think.
I will make a note of that.
It's a home show.
You got it?
It's in Burbank.
Oh, a new place. We're in Burbank.
It is at the Muscle Farm headquarters.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That should be cool.
I'm
okay,
excited.
That'll be really cool.
I'm excited. It's nice to do the ones at home.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Of course. Yeah. All right, TJ. I wish you the best. You're my brother. I love you. This is why on 10 years come May that we're doing on the show. Let's have a great year this year. Everybody watching, everybody listening, I wish you all the best, your family, loved ones, the best in life has to offer. I want you to have the best of health, of prosperity, and also, what's health, prosperity? Happiness. That's what everybody talks about, happiness.
Right. Be happy.
In 2018, be happy. Be happy. Happy New Year, everybody. Treat everybody around you with respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Set your path in life, especially for the new year. Research, get all the information you need to be the best you can be. Step down that path. Be the best you can be on that path. It's time to win. Be a winner. Think that way. Be positive. Be respectful to everybody around you. It's so important. Thank you, everybody. Love all my listeners all around the world. We've got a lot more coming for you this year. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Buffer out.